I've been here for almost 10 years now.
Wow.
So I've met so many black belts. I've seen so many parents. I've seen so many parents' lives get transformed along with their children. When I started, I guess the one thing that inspired me, oh my God, nerves. When I was a white belt, I was a very rebellious person. I actually got bullied in school. That was the main reason why I started. And just over years past, as I got from starting from white, by the time I got to, I think, around blue belt was around the time I got invited to Delta team. Yeah, it's really hard to. I never really had to give myself much thought of who I was, but for one, I was one with ADHD and autism, so I lacked the ability to, I guess, adapt as quickly as other people. And Master A, even my mom would say, hey, you need to work on this. They would point out these things, but I never really understood it. So, and even as something as simple as me teaching someone a fighting stance, now I understand because I was also like that. The same way with Micah, one of a low belt, I kind of see him like that because I was also, like I said, I had a learning disability, educational autism, on top of that ADHD, so it was a very bad mix in school. It was a long journey. Eventually as I got older, it got to a point where I got into a phase where I actually wanted to kill myself. Like, I was becoming very suicidal, scared my mom to death, by the way, as it would for any parent. And got even worse to a point where I actually lost my faith in God. Like, I became more, I guess you could say, atheist. Like, I didn't believe I had a reason for living. Especially even though I would get compliments saying, hey, you're really talented. Hey, like, you have so much to give to the world. I didn't understand that, because when you walk out those doors, you open yourself for every demon to attack you. It's more than just, it can be a mindset. Like, I don't have a reason for living. That's what I felt like. And after a while, I began to quit martial arts. I began to quit everything that I actually loved because I was in a really bad, oh my heart. I was just in a really bad place, and I think this was around the time where I actually became, or was close to getting black belt. And it was around that time where I did test for my black belt, and I failed my black belt test 2 times, and that did not help my case because I was still in a very bad mindset. But after I became black belt, I looked back on it and I was like, Master Ray taught me something. It was because that I failed my 2 times failed my black belt test, and I was like, why wouldn't you let me pass? What am I doing wrong? And it was all in here. It was all in here. Like, I wasn't in the right place, and I still wasn't even after obtaining black belt. That's why I even dishonored Master A to a point where I actually thought of giving up my belt. So it wasn't until recently where I came back from Florida, and that was actually my first time experiencing, I guess you could say, adulthood. I came back, and I guess that was the reality check. Like, I came back, got saved.
Yes, thank you, Lord.
And I'm here now.
Yes.
Still,
Hallelujah.
and, like, when you've been a student for Master Ray for a while, eventually you get this like, you guys ever seen Karate Kid? Ralph and Lauren Karate Kid, right? Like Daniel-san and Mr. Miyagi. It's like that master and student connection. Like, the more you know the master, the more he wants to share. Because how I see it, the student chooses the master, not the master doesn't choose the student. And even though I was always terrified of the master, because sometimes he gives me compliments where it's due, but he also, because he loves me so much, like a master loves his student, he cares more about your personal development than your emotions. Which isn't to say that your emotions aren't as important, but he wants you to blossom into, a master of whatever you want to be in life. Rather that being, be it a rocket scientist, biologist, whatever. And even my mom would tell me this stuff, and one thing I learned, or I think one of my favorite commandments from the Bible itself, honor thy mother and thy father. Because they're going to be your only cheerleaders from beginning all the way to the end.
It's feeling better.
We are a F.I.T family. We kick as one.